Okay, folks, there's a quick review of the Stormtrooper figure that was produced by Hasbro as a part of the Star Wars The Black Series 3 3/4 inch line of action figures. And I picked this up at Walmart for $9.99. Now, the articulation joints on the figure moved pretty well for the most part right out of packaging. The Stormtrooper has articulation joints in the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, the hips, the knees, and the ankles. And there also appears to be a mid-abdominal crotch joint. The head also moves up and down and can turn 360 degrees. However, I did discover that there are no ankle pivot joints. And surprisingly, the shoulder articulation doesn't appear to be hampered by the shoulder pads as they move forward and back as well as in and out. So in spite of there not being any ankle rockers, you can still get some nice action poses with this Stormtrooper. And no, the Stormtrooper helmet is not removable. Paint apps were a mixed bag on this figure. There's a distracting black splotch right above where his blaster holster is located, and there was some really bad white paint overrun on many of the articulation joints. The white lines on the mouth area are almost non-existent, and I was quite disappointed to discover that even though there is a blaster holster, you can't store anything in it. And also of note, there's a hole in his back, and that can be a bit of a distraction to see since there is no backpack accessory included. So let me pause here, zoom in, and I'll give you a closer look as to what the Stormtrooper looks like. Okay. All right, the Stormtrooper came with 2 accessories. So let me pan down real quick and I'll show you what they are. The figure stand that you see him standing on was not included in the package. Okay, first up, here's his E11 blaster. Now, this is the same blaster that was included with the Vintage Collection Sandtrooper. As you can see, that it has a collapsible stock on it. And if you want to see how this looks when the collapsible stock is unfolded, stop here and go watch my Vintage Collection Sandtrooper review. Finally, here is his blaster rifle. Now, I believe this is known as a Blastac DLT 19 Heavy Blaster Rifle. Back to the figure itself. What I'll do now is a quick 360 of the Stormtrooper for you and let you see what he looks like from all sides. Okay. So overall, I'd have to say that this Stormtrooper figure is very much a hit and miss type of figure. It looks okay, but I'm disappointed with the blaster holster not being able to hold anything in it. And the weapons do have good detail on them, as you saw, and I was glad to see that the collapsible stock E11 blaster was carried over to this figure from the Vintage Collection Sandtrooper. Unfortunately, the paint apps were sloppily done. So overall, I'd have to say that this Stormtrooper figure should get a good bordering on great recommendation. In spite of the flaws that I did find, I feel that this should still do well for an army builder in your Star Wars figure collection. Okay, so on that note, take care and stay tuned for my next review. Have a good one.